Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are we doing today? In case you haven't figured out, I record these the night before, so it's actually Sunday night where I am. It is Monday, sometime throughout the day. Could be morning, could be noon, could be later when you are watching this. So, as of right now, we've got no further instructions, no further communication as far as what we're supposed to be doing. So we're going to continue to do what we've been doing, and that is I'm going to post a video, you're going to watch the video, you're going to take a quiz, homework, whatever you want to call it, some sort of assessment to see if you're paying attention, and you can do what I told you to do. To that end, we're going to keep doing what we're going to do. Between now and the time you watch this video, things may change because, frankly, to be honest, lots of rumors out there as to what is going on. I've heard from some other teacher friends in some other districts. My daughters have heard different things from their district where they are. Things are a little bit different. However, for us, as of right now, things are what they are, and we're going to continue doing what we've been doing. So, to that end, you are going back here. We're going to take a little bit of what we did last week. We're going to take a little bit of what we did before. We're going to take those two things, we're going to smash them together, and you're going to learn some things. So, here we go. 4 steps. We're going to find the LCD. We're going to multiply by the LCD. We're going to solve whatever equation results from that. And step 4, we're going to check for extraneous solutions. That has not come into play yet. It's going to come into play this week. We are going to basically be doing the exact same thing all week long. This would be a 2-day process if we were face-to-face. We are not face-to-face. And so we're going to stretch a 2-day thing to a 4-day thing to really make sure you're understanding. Friday, we'll see what else is going on, and we will proceed from there. So, speaking of face-to-face, trying to do another Google Meet, and we'll tentatively plan on that for Tuesday. I'll put the time and the link and the everything else out Tuesday morning. I may have a house project going on Tuesday, and then maybe get pushed to Wednesday. I'll give you some more information further and communicate in the classroom. So, without any further ado, here we go. Numero uno. Step 1. Find the LCD. So I've got an LCD here. I got a denominator of 3. I take a look at the second part. I got a denominator of... Correct. The denominator here is 1. Second part... Denominator 3, coincidentally, same as the first, very convenient for us. Part 4, denominator of, absolutely, 1. So now, this is easy. I got a 3, I got a 1, I got a 3, I got a 1. My LCD is 3. So, how does that help us? Because there's no variables here, which means we're not going to have any extraneous solutions. That part's not a thing if there's no variables in my LCD. We talked about that like 2 weeks ago, just putting it out there to remind you again. I need to do step 2, multiply the LCD. I'm going to take each and every part and multiply by 3. So, remember, when I'm multiplying by 3, I'm actually, let me get rid of this, it's in my way, multiplying by 3 over 1. 3 is in the numerator, 1 is in the denominator. After I get done with my multiplying step, there should not be anything left in the denominator. Lucky for us, the 3's, poof, bye-bye. Don't say cancel. They're not there anymore. The only thing left, I have a 6b minus 4. Moving on. 2 over 1 times 3 over 1 is 6. Don't overcomplicate this. They're both in the numerator. 1's in the denominator. 6. There's no denominators left after this step. Other side of the equal sign. I got a 3 and a 3. Bye, bye, bye. They gone. All right? No denominators left. Nothing to multiply by. Continue. 3 over 1. We don't usually write that part, but I'm just putting it in there to remind you that the 3 is in the numerator. Plus 3b. Bing, bang, boom. I've got my multiplication step done. Proceeding to step 3, solve the resulting equation. Holy smokes, I got an equation, but it's a linear equation. It is simply a bunch of basic b's. I'm going to get all my b's over here. I'm going to get all my constants over there. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to combine these like terms just because, I want to get that out of the way. Like terms, like terms. Going step by step. You may be able to run through this in your head at home a little bit quicker. That's fine. We're talking, making sure everybody's on the same page. You can see what I see. So here we go. I'm getting my b's over here. I'm getting my constants over there. So I'm going plus b this way. I'm going plus 10 that way. Combined, I got a 7b. Combined, I got a 28. I got an easy equation to figure out. Mine divide by 7b equals 4. I solved the equation. Check extraneous. No variables, no extraneous, no problem. My answer is 4. Number 2. This one going to be a little bit more complicated. I'm going to erase myself a little bit of space here. If you need to see this, go ahead and take yourself a little snapshot. Moving on. I only have so much room down here in the bunker when I write these. Find the LCD. Denominator, uno. Denominator, y plus 2. Denominator, y minus 2. My LCD is both of them, y plus 2, y minus 2. If you need further explanation on where that came from, hit me up. We've talked about that multiple times. Hopefully you understand that by now. Shoot me an email if you have no idea where that LCD came from. We're going to proceed. Or talk to me in the face-to-face whenever we get there. I need to go to step 2. Multiply the LCD by all 3 terms. Getting this out of my way because it's really just a pain. Everything gets multiplied by the exact same thing, the LCD. By the way, sidebar. I took a class in college once where it made a difference if you multiplied I'm multiplying literally on the top side. That's not a thing. In college, this class I took once, it made a difference if you multiplied on the left or multiplied on the right. You got 2 different answers. Holy smokes, that was a hard class. You think you guys are having problems in math? Can you believe that? If you made a difference if you multiplied on... Moving on. Here we go. I got y plus 2. I got y minus 2. I got 1. Multiply them out. I know you didn't want to hear it. I know you didn't want to hear me say it, but I said it anyway. I got to multiply all 3 of these together. We've been leaving things separate for a while. We got to multiply them together. So here, I got a little double distribution. I've got this times this, this times this, this times this, this times this. Hopefully you remember your special cases and you know there's going to be some magic. If not, you're going to write them all out. I'm going to write them out for you one time. That's what I get because we talked about special cases. That's going to be a 0. Poof. Moving on. Over here, I got a y plus 2. I got a y plus 2. Bye, bye, bye. I got a y minus 2. I got a 3. I got a little distribution action here. That's 3y minus 6. I got a y minus 2. I got a y minus 2. I got a little distribution action here. I got a plus sign, so I don't need to sweat that. And I've got y plus 2. I will pause here because this should look different to you than this. There's a really significant difference here, and it's this little bitty 2 right here. So this is called a linear equation. You may have noticed in our notes many times. We talked about solving linear equations, solving linear inequalities. That word linear may not have meant much to you, but it's a very important word in the algebra class because it means there are no exponents. When we solve an equation like this, we get our constants on one side, we get our constants on one side, we get our variable terms on the other, we divide, we know what b is. This is different. This is what we did last week. When we do this, when we see an x squared, that's called a quadratic equation. When we solve quadratic equations, we get everything on the same side of the equal sign, and we want a 0 over here. Very different type of problem, very different steps needed to solve it. You have to recognize a linear equation, variables, constants, versus a quadratic equation, gather everything on the same side, equal to 0. You got to see it. You just do. This is basically what we're going to spend a lot of our time on this week. This is why we're going to take a 2-day thing, spread it to a 4-day thing, so you understand this idea as we proceed. So here we go. I'm getting everything over here. First thing I'm going to do, just like this, I'm combining me some like terms. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring these two over here. Got to do this. Bringing them over here. Only combine them together if they are like terms. So I got a y squared. I got a minus 4y. I got a minus 4 and a plus 4. Minus 4 plus 4, big fat 0. So this one worked out to be just like this. Now this is where your other brain's got to kick in. The stuff that we worked on last week, you got to use it this week. That means factoring. What kind of factoring do we always check for first? Not difference of perfect squares. The first thing we check for first is always GCF. So I got a GCF. There's my two terms. Zero product property. What? Yes, I know this problem started here. It's working down here and we're still not done. Zero product property tells me I've got two answers to check. Y equals 0, y equals 4. And get this, you're still not done. We've only done step 3. Now I need to go down here and I need to check for extraneous solutions. Where do I come up with extraneous solutions? From the LCD. I take the two parts of my LCD, I set them both equal to 0, and that tells me y cannot be 2 or negative 2 if I set those two equal to 0. I check down here, is that 2 or negative 2? Nope. 2 or negative 2? Nope. No problems. Whew. Good gracious. So to recap, find your LCD, multiply by your LCD, solve the resulting equation, and this is where things are going to be new than they were from 2 weeks ago. If there's no exponents, it's linear. Variables, constants, divide, answer. If there is an exponent, get everything on the same side so it's equal to 0. Factor, use the zero product property to get your solutions. One thing to remember here, boys and girls, after you've done this part, the exponent will tell you how many answers there are. If there's no exponent, that's technically an exponent of 1. There's one answer. If the biggest exponent is 2, there are 2 answers. So that should hopefully help trick something in your mind. At some point, we may even get to things that have an exponent of 3, and that will have, you guessed it, 3 answers. But as of right now, we're going to start here. 4 days. If you don't understand today, I get you. We're basically just taking the 2 ideas from the last 2 weeks and we're throwing them into one gigantor problem. Baby steps, 4 days, we're going to be working on this exact same topic. All right? Questions, comments, issues, hit me up with an email. Anything else? Hit me up with an email there also. All right. If things change as far as what is expected of you, what is expected of me, and anything else, we will communicate such. If not, I'm going to try and reach out. We'll try and set the Google Meet for Tuesday. And other than that, boys and girls, stay safe. Don't get on your parents' nerves or your brothers or sisters' nerves as much as they're getting on your nerves. Try and find something to do. Get out, get some fresh air, stay healthy, and I can't wait till we see each other's faces again.